Hello, my name is Michael Ryan, Head of Global Development and FESPA Global Print Expo. And I'm delighted to be joined today by Andreas Skantze, owner and senior advisor of Big Image. And it's Friday, we're all getting ready for Eurovision, so we're going to be heading to the home of Eurovision and Sweden. So Andreas will kindly be joining us to give us his insight over the last couple of years. And something special about this company, Big Image, they do artistic ideas justice, and they're best known in the industry for printing the biggest seamless images in the world. Good morning, Andreas.
Good morning, Michael, and thank you very much for having me on this podcast, and thank you for that introduction. Couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you.
Fabulous. I know Big Image for many, many years now. And I've seen, the audience, they will have known you from, they won't know what the company does. So I've seen you on Netflix. Mm-hmm. I didn't even realize that I saw you on the Chanel fashion show as well with Karl Lagerfeld, which was stunning work as well. So just give us an insight in the company.
Well, we started 30 plus years ago. That makes me really old. And we had the idea to revolutionize the way set designs were made. Set designs for theaters and opera stages and TV and film studios, but there were no such technology. So we had to develop it ourselves. So we developed our first digital direct printing technology in large formats with water-based inks in 1987. And since then, we are still learning every day because this is so difficult, so demanding, and the most fun I've ever had in my life. And you have seen us in the background of many of the Netflix shows, and including the latest James Bond movie and all of that stuff. So we specialize in the super large seamless prints because we print 50 meters wide times 12 meters high in one single piece with no seams.
Fabulous, fabulous. And yet, has that printer evolved since you first built that machine?
Oh yeah, many, many times. I mean, the first generations, we do still have some of the first images we printed 30 plus years ago, and they look great on a distance. but technology has come far in both quality, color range, speed, and all of that stuff. And they have passed through many, many generations of technology.
And it must be good now. So, for example, the last couple of years have been very challenging, especially for businesses like yourselves with theaters closing down and now just reopening, the movies just coming back. So how has your company navigated the last couple of years, and what positives have come from it that have managed to keep your business on track?
Yeah, well, this is interesting. So much stuff has happened that we really couldn't see that would happen. And I must also confess that the effect on our business and the industry by the pandemic took me a little bit by surprise. I didn't think it would be this severe. And we have two plants. We have one production site in Sweden, just outside Stockholm, and one in Berlin, just outside in Berlin. And they were hit very differently, I would say. In Sweden, we do a lot of what we call commercial printing for events and exhibit shows and stuff like that, and that was hit pretty hard. But in Berlin, almost no effect at all, because what happened was that even though culture, like theaters and operas, were shut down, all of the streaming companies that produced content for streaming, Netflix, Apple TV+, HBO Max, all of them, just a couple of months into the pandemic, they ramped up and wanted to produce more content and have more studio backdrops. So actually, the pandemic was pretty good for us in Berlin and pretty bad for us in Sweden. But we managed to do well anyway. And the positives that came out of this is that it sped up our journey of change. We have always believed that the better and faster we can change our offering and change our company, the better we will do. And the pandemic really sped it up. We changed much too slow before the pandemic, and we were able to speed that up. And we see the benefits of that now. Now things are going great with the changes that we made during the pandemic.
What would change with those changes in production?
some changes in production, but mostly in what we offer and which clients we work with. And it's
Fabulous.
it's difficult to say in English, English being my second or third language, that we had to say thanks but no thanks to some clients and clients from different categories. We made the profit and loss calculations of all our clients and of all our types of orders, and we realized that some clients just demanded too much from us, too much time, and there was too little reward. So we changed our offering, we changed our prices, we said thanks but no thanks to some clients. We have now fewer clients, fewer orders, but they are bigger and more profitable and way much more fun and demanding. And
Fabulous.
we're just having a great time right now.
And you're on stage also. Is that also in New York as well? You've done some events there.
Oh yes, sure. So you can't hit any show on Broadway without seeing our backdrops somewhere.
Fabulous. In terms of in terms of the adaptation, so for example, we've all been changing to different ways of working. What's now, as you say, what's driving you guys forward now, and how have you evolved? You know, you mentioned there in terms of you're changing your clients and how your adoption as well. In terms of the printing industry, because you are a printer as well at the end of the day,
Yeah.
in the broad sense of things. Have you seen those changes? For example, what we've noticed at FESPA is the automation, the process. Printers are getting faster. Everything's talking to each other, and I can imagine some of the clients you have. You know, you're dealing with like Chanel. You're dealing with these production people. I imagine that they need to understand more about print. Are they joining you on that road to automation and having influence on design and how they're supplying you with artwork?
Well, to some extent, yes. We do have a different kind of clients now. I say that the clients have also changed during the pandemic, so that they trust us with more of the creative process. They trust us more with the actual artwork process. And they involve us more in the entire process, and that kind of leads to a rationalization and a quicker way of working, because there's fewer people involved and the ways of making decisions are shorter. Yeah. And I wouldn't say that automation, we do have more automated process in our company now than before the pandemic, but the biggest changes are in the way we talk to our clients and the way our clients trust us.
And talking about technology, in terms of those large seamless prints, is there a piece of kit in the finishing industry that you're still waiting for?
Well, I mean, no matter how big you can print, do you always want to print bigger? And this is driven by clients. They always want to do something better than the other theater or the other TV show or whatever it was. So what we are researching is, of course, better and I would say less demanding and labor-intensive way of finishing these huge pieces of fabric. Yeah. And we have a couple of development projects going on in our production site in Berlin right now that hopefully will solve some of those challenges for us.
Fantastic. When I think of movies, I think of blue screens. And what would be the advantage of printing over the blue screens?
Well, blue screen and green screen is a great technology.
Green screen, sorry, there we go.
No, but blue screen is also there. It's the same thing, basically. But what happens is that it's difficult I would say that printed backdrops are best in real drama production, where the actors need to be in as a realistic situation as possible. And it's
like
difficult.
the scene in the Pope,
yeah,
the Pope movie.
Exactly like that. Yeah, man, you know your big image history. I'm honored, Michael. Thank you. But it's generally it provides a better situation for the actors to act in front of real furniture, real carpet, real walls, real windows, and real backdrops. Standing in front of a
tapestry,
just
wasn't it? It was
tapestry. But standing in front of just a large green screen, wearing a jumpsuit with sensors on, it's difficult to provide that drama feeling, or more difficult, I would say, not impossible. So, and also having a large blue or green screen makes that it bleeds green or blue over the entire studio. So you need to overcompensate that in the color grading of the actual video footage. So it provides it's a different solution for a different situation. So green screen does not compete with printed backdrops, as printed backdrops does not compete with digital large LED walls. They solve different problems and they complement each other, I would say.
Fabulous. And I'm pretty sure that, like every company, you're being asked about your sustainability in the industry and what happens post-production. What's your take on the industry? And we have coming up in FESPA in Berlin, we've got the sustainability spotlight. So we've got 4 days of presentations, interviews, product demonstrations. What is the big image sustainability feature?
Well, this is an important part for us, and we've been working in a sustainable way for more than 10 years. And I believe my impression is that the clients, they value it more now after the pandemic than before. But our take on it is this. Number one, we are 100% carbon compensated company according to scope 3, which is the highest level, which means that we take responsibility for third-party emissions also. That's number one. And we do our compensation in UN certified gold standard projects. And we overcompensate our carbon emissions that would lead to using the word climate positive, which we don't use yet, because there's no standard to certify to climate positive yet. There's work for this, and we are working. We're actually a part of the group in the ISO group, working to create a standard for climate positive, but it's not ready yet, and it will be several years before it's ready. But that's number one. Number two is that we are an ISO 14001 certified company, 9001 quality management certified company. We use environmentally certified fabrics. We use environmentally certified inks. We have 100% wind power electricity. And of course, we carbon compensate our shipping. So we're trying to reduce as much of our climate impact as we can. This must not be mirrored as climate neutral, which is a term that is, I believe, not used correctly. We are not climate neutral, even though we climate compensate 100% of our emissions. So we're doing everything we can. The clients, they absolutely love it. And we use this shamelessly on clients that promise that they are green, but they're not. So we print out their green promises from their websites and social media, and we meet the clients, and they say, this is what you buy today. Does not meet your own green promises. This is what we can do, should we talk business. It's a great way of selling, and has always been, actually.
Fabulous. And of course, we're coming up to FESPA in Berlin. You've got your production center in Berlin. Are you hopefully we'll see you at the show?
There will be several of us there, both from our crew in Berlin and our crew in Sweden, and I hope to get there also. It's the FESPA show has always been great, really interesting, and the people you meet there is fantastic. There's no other place to meet the same kind of people at the same place at the same time. So we're looking forward to FESPA in our hometown for sure.
And I will make sure that we send you the invitation on to the Club FESPA Lounge, where the FESPA Sweden Association have certainly got a drinks reception at some point during the event. So hopefully
we'll make sure
we
to
can all
attend
see you
that
all
too.
together,
Yeah,
which would be good.
Thank you.
Andreas, thank you so much. Anybody who hasn't seen it, please do go on YouTube and look at the Chanel Paris, what was it, the beach scene?
Well, we have done several. We've done airports. We've
in the
done
Palais,
forests.
wasn't it? In the Palais,
yeah,
isn't
in
it?
the Grand Palais. We've done
The
forests.
Grand Palais.
We've done lots of stuff. So
fantastic. I can only from the phone call to you've installed. How long is that in terms of a production?
I would say about a month, maybe 6 weeks sometimes. And to tell the truth, the actual production of the backdrop is by far the shortest piece of those
I can
weeks.
imagine.
The longest piece is the project management, the creative process, the artwork process, preparations for installation, and all of that stuff. That's by far the most difficult and the most demanding process. Printing, that's the easy part.
And how many times did Karl Lagerfeld change his mind?
Can't tell you. It's
Very good.
We have a confidentiality agreement that it's this thick. I haven't read a single page of it, but I still sign it, so I can't talk about it.
Fabulous. Andreas, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Really good. Please check out the Big Image website, where you'll be always astounded by your incredible creativity and the beautiful imagery that your team that produce for the industry. So, and we will see you in Berlin. Thank you, Andreas.
Thank you very much, Michael, and the entire FESPA crew.
We look forward to welcoming the printing community back to FESPA Global Print Expo and European Sign Expo from the 31st of May until the 3rd of June. If you're joining us in Berlin, don't forget to check out the 8 halls that we have full of innovative materials, the latest printing technologies for digital textile printing, wide format printing, screen printing. Enjoy the industry as we all come together and experience print in motion.